Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Absolutely. So today's episode is going to be very different. The reason being, we lost a lot of the footage because my internet connection was in and out. So instead, we're going to have B-roll footage of various Superman shows, kind of leaning into the conversation that we're having. A big explainer at the end as to why this is happening. But let us know in the comments if you like this format. Super interested to see if you guys enjoy it. Until then, let's get right into me and Neb discussing James Gunn as the new director of Superman. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to Absolutely. My name's Hassan, and today we're with our special guest Neb, back again from Twitter. We dragged him from Twitter, made him quit that terrible, awful app, to be here to talk to us about Superman, James Gunn. What's gonna happen? Is it gonna be trash? Could it ever compare to the Snyderverse? And just give our thoughts on that while discussing, a couple other Superman-related things going on right now, like Superman and Lois, that's kind of making Superman more human than he's ever been. Neb, how you doing?
I'm doing good. You rescued me from the app. I really appreciate it, man. Improved my quality of life instantly.
Neb, give me your thoughts on James Gunn directing Superman, because you are comic book Twitter, so you hear about all the inner workings and all the rumor mill. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, I was never sure how to feel about it at first. I loved the first Guardians, and I sort of despised the second one. But yeah, so we just saw the third one recently, and that was definitely the best one out of the trilogy. I don't know if you agree, but that was just...
Oh, by a long shot. By like a mile.
Everything about
Not
it
even
just
comparable
felt
as far as quality. It's the same way Spider-Man No Way Home was the best one in his trilogy. Yeah. And it's like it's almost like the director evolved and just changed entirely to make it. I mean, it's the James Gunn stylization, but it's so experimental. It's crazy.
Yeah, it feels like a different lead. I mean, people say, oh, finally, good MCU again. Like, Black Panther was just like a few months ago, But it really did feel like we just got over something, and yeah, this was way better than I expected it to be. I wasn't really feeling all the marketing for the movie, but yeah, I think they just kind of held back a lot, and yeah, no, it put a lot more faith in James Gunn for me, because just because he has one style, people on Twitter don't realize this, just because he has all these dirty jokes, things like that, it's not like he's going to do that for Superman, because directors can do other things, so I never thought that, but now appearance, it'll just look great. Nobody makes movies that just look as good as him in the MCU, right? And just use all sorts of different camera techniques and things like that. So yeah, I'm excited.
It's crazy to walk out of a Marvel event excited for a DC event, but I think that's exactly what happened. And the first time I watched it, I was with James Gunn 30 minutes prior, talking with him. So he didn't let on any crazy spoilers or anything. But what I know about Superman is I'm so excited because I think he might be the best director for it. Superman isn't, and I don't mean any disrespect to Christopher Reeve or anybody else that's played Superman, but he's not necessarily the most interesting character. He's hard to make human at times. He's really, really hard to write compelling stories for without nerfing his bad guys or powering them up needlessly and having random stakes and unnecessary side characters and stuff. But James Gunn took these incredibly obscure characters, right, the Guardians of the Galaxy, and made them an A-list franchise that, is just mind-blowing. So I have a lot of faith in that guy, especially after Guardians. And I'm not, no Guardians spoilers here, but I'll go ahead and say it. It is one of the most visually concussive movies I've ever seen, but it maintains its levity. So you can get, everybody will always talk about how violent Man of Steel got, and they'll use that as a pro that nobody has the balls to do what Zack Snyder would do. No one was ever able to crush buildings. James Gunn will crush those buildings, right? But he'll make you feel hope while doing it. That's what I think. At no point was I was sad and I cried a lot during Guardians 3, but did I feel like there was no hope for the future of this team or these people? Not for 1 second. So it's James Gunn basically just did a really beautiful test piece, I guess, to lead into him directing Superman. So, how do you feel about that? Do you agree, disagree?
Yeah, I agree completely. James Gunn, he's just really good at emotions, right? And I've never particularly been a fan of his humor. I mean, he has good jokes, but yeah, a lot of it feels kind of lazy to me, to be honest. Especially in Peacemaker, I just thought it was bad. But it doesn't matter because the way he just, he just hits the audience in the heart every time. And I think that's really important with Superman right now. And since he's going younger anyway, he has the opportunity to make Superman feel a lot fresher. And, he is difficult. The general audience, it's just, like older people, sure. But if you ask, like millennial Gen Z, if you ask like if one of their favorite heroes is Superman, it's probably not. And yeah, you just definitely have the opportunity to make him just a little more human, give him a more interesting power set maybe. And yeah, I think he is the one for the job after seeing Guardians 3.
Yeah. And I'm gonna what do you call it? Real strong disagree here. I thought Peacemaker was hilarious. I love the humor in Peacemaker. I thought Peacemaker was one of the funniest things I've watched in a while because it felt like so much of it was improv on set day. And like as a comedian, there's nothing that I appreciate more. Like I love well-written humor. I love it when a writer or an actor can just be in a character and then just, be full of shit.
Right.
You know?
It did feel like improv, especially.
I think John Cena.
Yeah,
did.
John Cena. And he has experience from wrestling all these years, right? So he was just perfect in that role of all things. And yeah, I just love that show so much anyway. And John Cena definitely made it. It did feel like improv. So I definitely have more faith in him, especially since, Gunn would obviously like hold back on things like that for a Superman movie. So yeah, and honestly, the jokes in Guardians 3 were a lot funnier to me. So I feel better in that regard too.
I thought the humor hit a lot harder. I thought the everything about it. I don't want this to turn into another Guardians review, but I love that film. I thought that film was a 10 out of 10, standout, incredible movie. So James Gunn has me excited. There's another iteration of Superman going on right now that might actually see a premature end because the end of the CW era. But I think it is the in many ways the best version of Superman we've ever seen on screen. I'm a Smallville fanboy, guys. Don't get the pitchforks ready for me just yet. I just think that this show lets him be Superman in a way that Smallville obviously didn't. And Superman and Lois, Tyler Hoechlin. Wow, what an incredible portrayal of such a powerful character. He's human. Are you caught up on Superman and Lois right now?
Yeah, I caught up yesterday, and I definitely agreed where, like, first of all, just to be clear, like, I love the Snyder stuff, actually, but, yeah, his Superman just never clicked for me like the other stuff did. I love Man of Steel, but Henry Cavill is definitely just a bit too stoic for me. And, yeah, I mean, even when season 1 of Superman and Lois came out, just pretty quickly, it was like, yeah, okay, yeah, this is Superman, yeah, okay, we're doing it. And it's just kept that quality.
Episode 1 to Superman and Lois that is like the his backstory, falling in love and marrying Lois and stuff, and him putting on the suit for the first time, and it's like he lifts up a car straight off of Action Comics. He lands, he goes, "Cool suit, thanks, my mom made it," and he flies off, and he has this like adorable Tyler Hoechlin smile, and I think that it like lends itself to this like what James Gunn. He wants a Superman you can give a hug to. I would not hug Henry Cavill.
I would for other reasons.
I like him.
But yeah.
I think he's cool. I like him for everything other than Man of Steel. And I would not. I'd give him a look. I'd give him one of the like the little head nod. Hey, what's up? Hey, yeah, man. Nice to meet you, bro.
He's the man.
Oh, you play video games too? Like, you know what I mean? Like with Tyler Hoechlin, I'd be like, dude, you're Superman. Like, what? You're crazy. I'd be like a little nerd, a little joyful nerd. And this season, they gave Superman a really, really rough storyline, really, really difficult and emotionally grueling. They gave Superman something that his powers, his godly abilities could not break free of. They gave Lois cancer, and not just cancer. They gave Lois stage 4, I think it's breast cancer. Yeah, stage 4 breast cancer, which means it's the worst thing that you can have. It's like it's terrifying, truly. Or is it stage 3? Someone chat just said stage 3. I thought it was stage 4. Is it stage 3?
Yeah, it was stage 3.
Okay, well, hey, what am I? I'm not the comic historian, okay, guys? I'm just a guy who watches.
We're trying our best.
No, but we're doing everything we can. Stop bullying me. No, stage 3 gave her stage 3 cancer, and Superman can't do anything about this. Can't use your heat vision to clear it up. He can't do anything. So we watch him, deal with the realities of it. Go to support group, which is one of the things I never expected to see Superman do. Go to support group. And the reason I think that's so significant is because the vulnerability that's in situations like that, and we would never see Superman in the environment, even in comic books that take place after Lois is dead, after John is dead, he outlives the world, right? You never see him so vulnerable and emotional dealing with his grief, and here he is, grieving, falling apart, and it's it's really beautiful. It's a really, really beautiful experience. And I think it shows how cool Superman can be portrayed on screen as a very vulnerable figure, as this somebody who's not a god. And it just really excited me. And also that show is top notch. Bias here. My friend is Superboy on the show. You can catch our interview over here on Absolutely. And even though we're like several, episodes into the season, I actually think that interview it's more of just like, what's it like to be this character, not give us spoilers for the following season. So it's still worth watching if you guys haven't seen that yet. But no, I've been gripped. They're doing a lot of really cool stuff with villains that I think have never really mattered that much, like Bruno Mannheim. And
Right.
they're doing them in relatively interesting ways. And for anybody who's going to comment, Hassan flexing his connections, no, I'm saying go watch the video we made on this channel. That's an interview with Alex Garfin. That's what
How
I'm saying.
many more people do you know? I'm so
guys.
curious.
So many.
So many.
But so many people. Not as many as you, Neb, on Twitter.
No.
Neb is in secret group chats with people that you couldn't imagine. I've heard some of these names and I've seen some of these spoilers, and they're terrible. It's mind-boggling the power Neb has.
It's funny. I don't have it right now, but if I wanted to, there's a Justice League cast member who I could get their phone number.
Ooh.
I know.
That's creepy. Don't do
I
that.
won't.
You can never. It's weird. Yeah, we're not gonna get into this tangent here. We'll get it back onto it in the live stream because I don't want it to go too far off the rails. But it's
Yep.
always weird, even if you have their number. What are you to do with that? At
Like,
that
what am I
point?
supposed to do
You
with
know,
this
you have no-
information? I'm gonna call them like a
but
fucking
yeah.
freak.
Basically. So, are you what is your dream for Superman? And is James Gunn the guy to get you that dream? And could you think of any other director that could get you to that vision better?
Not right now, no. Yeah, and honestly, I don't know what my dream is for Superman right now, because I feel like, I don't want the movie to just be him, starting to be a reporter again and just like meeting Lois again, and I'm sure it'll be partly that because he's younger, but it's just because we've seen that like a dozen times, right? And even if that happens, it'll still be good, right? So, fine. And I think James Gunn understands just how important this character is to the DC universe, clearly. So we'll definitely get there eventually where he's just dealing with cosmic threats and things like that. I definitely think this will be the ideal Superman because it'll be the longest lasting.
Yeah. My dream is that we get like 2 really, really jam-packed Superman movies that we all love, like that is like critically acclaimed and breathes new life to the character. A hopeful Superman this time with the beautiful hair swoop and curlier hair, less slick back, looking like a mafioso Superman. Which I have that complaint about Tyler Hoechlin too, because sometimes his hair will swoop down, he'll look incredible, and then other times he has it slicked back, and I'm like, you're the best costuming department in the world. Why are you messing this up? Whatever. Besides the point. I'm hoping to get 2 jam-packed movies with that, and then have him be in a Justice League dynamic of sorts, and then Doomsday, baby. I know it's a storyline, everyone knows what happens, and yada, 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 but oh my god, we've deserved to see real Doomsday in live action. We've never gotten that. And don't you dare say, if you say anything.
Actually, I love the Snyder's Doomsday so much. So much depth to his character.
Oh, yeah, real Doomsday, huh? Real, the Doom of that movie. Come on, man. That guy doesn't. Don't
he's just a little baby ogre. He's never got the spikes until the end.
Yep.
But yeah, I think
Smallville did a better live action Doomsday. Smallville had like a
crazy,
1-to-1
right?
recreation of a monstrous Doomsday, played by Sam Witwer of Star Wars fame. Little world killer, star killer boy / Darth Maul's voice, I believe.
The audacity of doing practical
Smallville.
Doomsday in 2007 or something. Yeah, they deserve a lot of credit.
2008. You were not far off. Yeah, and it actually looked really, really good. And they have a fight scene, and I remember as a kid being obsessed with it. but Doomsday punches Superman, and they go in slow motion, and they have blood gush out of Tom Welling's mouth, and then they cut from slow motion to intense super speed of him slamming into a storefront, and it looked really, really cool. So yeah, I heard the design of the Krypton show was incredible. I didn't watch a ton of that show. I know it seemed really interesting, and people were really passionate back when Crisis was happening of having that tie in somehow to the Crisis on Infinite Earths that were going on in the CW. But yeah, so I'm very, very excited. I think James Gunn is the best guy for the job. I think we got hope. We have levity, which is what we need. We need an overcorrection. Zack Snyder gave us the least Superman because his goal, in his words, was to build to it in 3 movies. And in a recent interview, people just weren't smart enough to get his vision. But James Gunn's goal is going to be to give us the most Superman off rip, and I think that's the recipe for success. And then we can double back at some point. Bring Snyder and Cavill back on to be Injustice Superman, or bring back the Snyderverse that way. But until then, I'm absolutely, this is absolutely, I'm Hassan, that's Neb, and we'll see you guys next time. And then also, just so you guys are aware, technical issues on this episode. I should have said this during the intro or the intro of the video. My Wi-Fi is out, so I'm using like the data on my phone on my computer. I can't control any of the studio lights behind me or anything because Wi-Fi's gone.
He's in the trenches.
I also had our air went out, so we had an air technician in the house while we were filming this. So I had to jump in the middle of recording. Neb was really patient with me while I ran around to check. Turns out he left every door open to my attic, and I have 4 cats. So as soon as we're done filming this, I'm going to leave for another minute because I also think he left the front door open, and I'm not getting 3 out of 4 cats are missing. 3 out of 4, guys. You heard it here first. Hassan lost all of his cats. So
that's not great.
It's not great at all. But you know, it's going to be great. James Gunn Superman.
It's so
and
true.
Until then,
it's so exciting.
Give us your thoughts below, and we'll see you guys next time.